liberal firebrand Cenk Uygur. He's the founder and host of the Young Turks. He's also running for the Democratic presidential nomination in 2024 now. Cenk, thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so what do you think I or Brian Stelter am getting wrong here?
Yeah, a lot. Sorry, but that's my take on it. So first of all, I think number one, when you don't allow journalists into an area, that's kind of on you. So I'm not going to take anyone's word for it when they don't allow journalists into the area. And Israel has already killed a number of journalists, including a Reuters journalist. And I'm sure that every killing is, of course, an accident, including when they bombed a bus full of people. 70 people died, I believe, on that convoy that they had asked them to leave. The UN has said that they have bombed schools, etc. So you've got one incident where it is not clear.
Let's not do a hit and run. Let's not do a hit and run here. Let's take a little bit about what you just said. First of all, the 70, there is a huge dispute about what happened there, and that it may have not been Israel at all.
It's never Israel.
No, I know. You never want to believe. I know. It's not possible. I know it's not possible that it would be the terrorists. I get it, that they're trying to prevent people from going south.
It's not possible that it would be the occupiers, right?
No, it is possible. Of course it's possible. It's possible to be Israel. But I would think, Cenk, you'd care about evidence. And you made the point that they don't have anyone on the ground. So satellite images, nope, can't use it. Surveillance, can't use it. None of it is valid, right? Nothing.
No. So let me be clear, and thank you for asking for the clarification. So on the hospital, it is now in doubt, and the U.S. intelligence has not reached a firm conclusion. But I understand the evidence that you presented, and it is entirely possible that in this case that it was not the idea. So I'm not arguing that case. What I'm arguing is Israel here has already killed about 3,000 civilians.
Wait, hang on.
Hold on.
No, I got to ask you about that. Where are you getting that number from? You're getting it from Hamas. Where's that number coming from?
And everyone who has access to it. They are trying to confirm it. But Dan, what difference does it make if it's 2,900 or 3,000? Are you pretending that Israel isn't dropping massive bombs inside Gaza?
No, what I'm doing is saying
they haven't tried to move 1 million people. Are you pretending that they're not bombing the living crap out of Gaza right now?
Not yet.
Because please don't pretend that.
They're about to, but they've begun. You're right. There's no doubt that there have been civilian deaths in Gaza. But the notion that you're already relying 3,000 deaths, that comes from Hamas. These are the same people who said 500 died in a hospital. And you just accept these numbers and you repeat them without questioning them. And that's my problem.
Dan, no, Dan. The number one problem in media in my lifetime has been the exact opposite of what you and Brian said. They almost always take the government position as if it's true. I've seen it happen 200 times, both in the case of America and Israel. And almost every time the government is lying. But the rebuttable presumption, Dan, is on the aggressor. So when Hamas attacked Israel, they don't get to complain about propaganda. And so in this case, Israel is the aggressor against Gaza.
And so now
they say,
why is Israel already?
Gotta wait a couple of weeks before you criticize me.
Right, Israel's already the aggressor, right? It's already to the point where Hamas attacked Israel, and now Israel's preparing its response, and it's already the aggressor, and the presumption is anything bad that happens in Gaza must be Israel. That's the presumption, correct?
So, Dan, Hamas started this, no question. What they did was barbaric, no question.
But
Israel has a right to go and try to get those hostages. So far, they've done zero of that, none. Instead, they've dropped bombs that might kill the hostages. We got American hostages there. Stop dropping bombs.
But again,
Dan, you're, as a government, you have a higher responsibility, especially a government pretending to be a democracy. You have a much higher responsibility than Hamas, a terrorist group.
That's true.
So yes, you're supposed to take care to not kill civilians. And when it looks like you've killed about twice as many as Hamas did, that's the time where you start to look in the mirror and go, am I doing the right thing here? Or am I being equally barbaric?
And then you ask yourself the other question, which is, where would I possibly accept those numbers from? The notion that there's somehow 3,000 civilians. I promise you, any Hamas number is going to include fighters and civilians together. I won't even begin to accept those numbers. I don't even know if it's 300. I don't know if it's 3,000. It's Hamas numbers. They mean nothing.
Dan, that's not. So first of all, let me agree and disagree. So the part I agree with you is, are there some fighters in those numbers? I'm sure there are, right? And is Hamas fudging the numbers around the edges? I'm sure they are.
The edges.
But you have seen this in other conflicts, Dan, where then the United Nations and journalists go in afterwards, after Israel has bombed Gaza, and they come back and say the numbers were relatively accurate. Yeah. And you have seen IDF lie over and over and over again. They're the boy who cried wolf. So now if there's an actual wolf, we go, well, I don't know. Is Hamas lying about this one? You said they were lying. The Palestinians were lying, and you were wrong 9 out of 10 times. I mean, they killed Shirin Abu Akleh, an American journalist, and they brazenly lied about it. So as a government, you have a responsibility to have some modicum of honesty so that we can believe you when you say things like this.
I agree with you.
You might actually be right.
By the way, I'm going to end this by saying on the area I agree with you. Israel is held to a higher standard. Israel should be held to a higher standard. On that, I agree with you. I also think that they're held to a completely different standard than any other country, but that's a debate for another day. Cenk, thank you. Appreciate it. Good conversation.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.